What's good, people? Welcome back to the channel. We're in a new month, the last month of the year, so it's time for me to release my updated NBA tier rankings so far in this season. For my loyal subscribers, you already know that we do this every month, ranking where each NBA team falls in my selected tiers. And the October and November editions have already dropped on my channel, so definitely go check them out. These are my rankings for my November edition. I'm sorry.
You gotta be ashamed of yourself. Real talk. You gotta be ashamed of yourself. Old as you is.
We're going to keep the same tiers that I've been using except for one change. The Chet Holmgren sweepstakes will now be called the Paolo Banchero sweepstakes. So if your team is in that tier, hopefully they can get them a 250-pound forward who can get you a bucket and snipe you from three. Yeah. Besides that, leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and of course, wait. For real, go subscribe. Y'all see that bright red ass button right there? Yeah, go click that and then tell your friends to go subscribe too. We're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers. What are you doing? With that out the way, let's get right into the rankings. All right, first team, the Sixers. You guys are sleepers. I think that right now you guys dropped just because, Tobias and Embiid were out due to a long period of time due to health and safety protocols. I think it was with COVID. But Tyrese Maxey in that stretch of games in November looked really good, had some good moments. But again, you guys didn't have your best player, so you dropped some games. But you guys are back. Hopefully you guys can get back in a rhythm. You guys will probably do that, but right now, you guys are in the sleeper category right now at this point in the season. Next team, the Washington Wizards. Look, Washington, I think you guys are really, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna boost you guys up to missing something. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm not gonna do that. Actually, I'm not gonna do that. I will say this: if Bradley Beal gets to the point where he starts dropping close to 30 points per game, back to the same level, the same Bradley Beal we saw 2 seasons ago, I think that right now he's not having a horrible season, not a bad season at all, but compared to Bradley Beal standards, he could be a little bit better. But I do think that you guys have some good pieces. Again, Montrezl Harrell, great off the bench. And I think that Kuzma, Kuzma's still doing what Kuzma does. That's not even forced. But you guys have a good, well-rounded team that can cause problems in the Eastern Conference, whoever you guys match up with. But I think right now, you guys are sleepers in that B category, B tier right now, but we'll see going forward. The next team, the Atlanta Hawks. Look, 3 straight sleepers on the channel. Hey, a record? Hey, look. But look, Atlanta has come out and looked a lot better from the first few games of the season. I think it leads off with Trae Young getting back to who he was, close to averaging 28 points per game on great efficiency. They're 8-2 in their last 10 games. They look like a really good team. They look like the team that made it to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. I will say that they got to keep this up because at the end of the day, they're 9th. They started off so bad. So Trae Young, if he continues to ball out, John Collins, the entire team, the Hawks are going to be a problem to beat every night going forward in this season. The Cavs. Look, I'm not trolling y'all. I promise I'm not trolling y'all. Listen to me, hear me out. The Cleveland Cavaliers are here. Jared Allen making a case for an all-star this year. Darius Garland, we talk about these young point guards in the league. Darius Garland is really good. And Evan Mobley, we could talk all day about how good Evan Mobley is defensively and what he does for this team as well. 2 great vets in Rubio and Kevin Love coming off the bench. I didn't even know Lauri Markkanen is at small forward. He's 7 feet tall. Like, what are we doing here? The Cavaliers are a team that goes against the grain. They're going to be a problem to deal with. And I think that Evan Mobley and Jared Allen, those 2 guys down low, they solidify that defense, which makes them an issue for a lot of teams to deal with. Give them their props. They're doing really well. Detroit Pistons, sleep psych. Yeah, we're not doing that. We're not doing it. You guys are ass. But I will say Cade Cunningham over the last few games has looked really good. He's looked really good. I think close to 20 points per game, over 5 assists, over 5 rebounds per game. But we all know that this team has a long way to go. There's not much to really say about the Pistons, but just don't send this video to Isaiah Stewart. He might tweak. We've seen how he gets when his feelings get hurt. Indiana Pacers, soon but not yet. And let me explain before people look at this and be confused. The Pacers are a disappointment right now. I talked about this team being a team that could be one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference. They have Sabonis, LeVert, Brogdon. These are players that teams want to have that can help their team out and win games. And I don't know, but the Pacers are a disappointment right now. Under 500, 13th in the Eastern Conference, no bueno. No bueno. Like, so Indiana, like, get y'all, like, come on, bro. Get y'all, let's go. The Bucks. I think a lot of people will be, they're here. Yeah, the Bucks are here. Giannis is gonna be an MVP candidate every single year, and I think that one big reason why the Bucks are still in that category, with Brook Lopez being out due to I believe back surgery, Bobby Portis has filled in that role as a stretch center for this team, averaging over 18 points per game. Chris Middleton, he's still got to work on his efficiency, only averaging 17 points per game this season. He's got to be a little bit better. They're one of those teams that you have to go through this team. I think that they have all the pieces that they need to continue to be great, and they've been good. But they're that good. They're that good in my opinion. They're that good. The Toronto Raptors, the six. Oh, never mind. Let me not do that again. That was so bad. Oh my lord. The Raptors are a team that I really feel like the Pacers. I thought they were gonna be one of the 5th, 6th, 7th, around that area in the Eastern Conference, maybe even higher, but it's just not happening right now. And I think that the biggest positive for the team right now is Scotty Barnes. He might be the favorite for Rookie of the Year. I think you might have Evan Mobley, but it's easy to say that he's been one of the best rookies so far. And I think that Siakam, hasn't had a bad year. Van Vliet hasn't had a bad year. I think OG Anunoby being out for an extended period of time has hurt them offensively, and a bench unit has not provided much for this team. So right now, they're just in that middle tier right now. Maybe, who knows what they can do. So yeah, Drake, make that phone call. Do something for your team, man, you know? Do something for them boys. All right, the next team, Dallas Mavericks. Look, I think people will put them in the maybe tier because out of the last 10 games, they went 3-7. But those last few games, they didn't have Kristaps Porzingis or Luka Doncic, so that's almost a given without your two best players. But the Mavericks, hey, Luka has been Luka. Efficiency-wise, he hasn't been as great, but Luka Doncic is still one of the best players in the league when you look at what he does for his team. Kristaps Porzingis has looked a lot better playing as a second option, and I've always talked about Jalen Brunson and Tim Hardaway Jr., how they give you, they're great role pieces. The Mavericks, like I said before, the Mavericks are a team that I feel like is in a good situation. They're going to be fine. They're going to make it to the playoffs. That's really what the test is. If they can dominate and show that they're just as good as those teams, then they're easily going to be a problem because I think Luka Doncic is that great of a player, so we'll see. Next team, the Denver Nuggets. Look, Denver's a maybe right now, and it really sucks because Nikola Jokic is having another great MVP type. He's having that type of season, and he's even better defensively. So MPJ's out for the season. PJ Dozier is out as of right now. Austin Rivers is going to miss some games. Bones Highland and Moore are going to be in health and safety protocols and probably going to miss games due to COVID. Denver's going to look great when Jokic is hooping, having 30 point, 8, 9, those type of games. But if Jokic has a game where he doesn't look like an MVP, this team is most certainly going to lose. And I think that in the Western Conference, you can't afford it. It's going to be tough. So we'll see what happens. But right now, Denver, it's a shaky season right now, especially with MPJ being out for the rest of the season. Next up, the Memphis Grizzlies. Hey, look, Memphis, y'all wrong for that, bro. Y'all wrong for that. Y'all wrong for that. Memphis has looked good, man. John Morant, thank God he's healthy. He's safe after that scary knee injury. He's gonna be all right. Only gonna miss. He's out right now. It's better than what we thought could have happened. Desmond Bain stepping up, averaging 18 points per game over the last 7 games. Dillon Brooks is back. Jaren Jackson looking like a star. I'm ready to see what happens when John Morant comes back. But right now, the Grizzlies are a really, really good team and can still whoop on you, as we've seen. Like, yeah, for y'all are wrong for that. Y'all know that. Y'all know that. Come on now. The Minnesota Timberwolves. Oh, man, there's a lot of sleepers. There's a lot of sleepers. They're a sleeper team. Look, in my last video, they dropped a few games, and at that point, I was like, oh, maybe they might have to trade Cat or even D'Lo or try to build around Anthony Edwards because you can't waste your time with a big three that can't get it together. Over the last few games, the Minnesota Timberwolves have looked like the team that we knew they could be with that big three. Like I said before in my previous video, go check it out. I said that Anthony Edwards could be one of the best young talents in the league, and he's showing that with his level of play on this team. They've had some good wins against some really, really good teams and some close losses to some really, really good teams as well, but the Timberwolves have looked good so far. Next up, the Spurs. I know it's the Spurs. We don't like talking about the Spurs. I totally get that, but Popovich has these boys competing hard on the court every night. Right now on a 4-game winning streak, and for a younger team, that's important. I mean, hey, they got the second active longest win streak in the league. DeJounte Murray, the best player, averaging 19, 8, and 8, is a great start. Having another good season, and also a two-way monster who can give you something on offense and on defense. Offensively, they're still not all the way there. They don't have a true go-to guy, but of course, as time goes along, they'll figure that out. But the Spurs, as a younger team, have looked good, and soon, but not right now, they'll be a team that could be a problem to deal with in the near future. The next team, the Utah Jazz.
Oh, brother, this
Look,
guy
y'all don't like the
stinks.
Jazz. I feel it. I feel y'all. I feel it, man. But the Utah Jazz have been handling their business as time goes along. The only thing I need from the Utah Jazz, I gotta see how they compete against top-tier talent in the Eastern Conference and Western Conference. They haven't played the Suns or the Warriors yet. Do I think they're a top team in the Western Conference? Absolutely. I think that just because you don't like talking about the Jazz, I feel it. They're still playing very, very well so far. They defend the 3 well. They're one of the best defensive teams, led by Rudy Gobert. Donovan Mitchell is still a guy who can go get you a bucket. They have shooters from everywhere. Like, in my next video, we'll see how they go moving forward, because I do think that when they face some real dogs, I want to see what the Jazz do. And I know y'all don't like the Jazz, but it's like, come on, bro. It's all right, bro. Like, come on, man. Next up, the Clippers. Look, the Clippers are a sleeper team. I know Paul George began the season almost like a top 5 MVP candidate to start the season off, but he's dipped down a little bit in his offensive output. But the overall team, the Clippers, the others, have got their rhythm back offensively, and they don't have to rely too much on Paul George to drop 30 every night. The team's looking really, really well, and if Paul George now gets back into his offensive rhythm, looks even greater than what he was at the beginning of the season, it's gonna be very, very hard to beat this team. It's gonna be tough for a lot of teams to deal with the Clippers going forward in the season. Next up, the Phoenix Suns. They won 18 straight games, bro. They didn't lose in November. Do I really gotta explain? Do I really have to? Can we just move on? All right, bet. Thanks. Let's just move on. The Portland Trailblazers. Portland is a disappointment. Every time I talk about Portland, I lose years of my life. So this is hurting me as much as I speak about this team. Even with Chauncey Billups as a coach, they've changed their defensive scheme. They've changed it, and they're still one of the worst teams offensively. At the end of the day, there needs to be a major move to this team. I don't think that they could make the playoffs, and it doesn't matter. They're not gonna make any noise because the roster to me just isn't good enough. Portland, again, they're a maybe team. Will they make the playoffs? Yeah, maybe. Will they not make the playoffs? Who knows? Let's move on. Please, let's move on. Next up, the Sacramento Kings. The Kings are a confusing team. I know they're one of the younger teams in the Western Conference. I think that right now, De'Aaron Fox, your star player, hasn't looked great this season. Hasn't been the De'Aaron Fox that we remember. Efficiency shooting the ball hasn't been great. But I think that's not the biggest problem for your team. I think the inconsistency is just I think it just comes with the territory of you guys being young and trying to figure out what's going to happen with your team after firing Luke Walton, which was a great decision. The best decision you guys made over the past 7 years in your franchise. Right now, you guys are just inconsistent and young, and hopefully you guys can finally put it together, because I think that once this team puts everything together, you guys will see success. I like the talent that's on the team. I like the guys that are on the team right now, but you guys are literally a soon but not yet team. I could just put y'all's name there, and that's what you guys are. Yeah, you guys are a soon but not yet, so yeah, let's move on. Next up, the New York Knicks.
We're taking it all the way.
No. Let's stop. Right now, you guys just are not disappointments, but it's disappointing what's happening right now. Julius Randle, I know he's averaging 20 points per game, but he hasn't looked as good as he was last year. Seeing Kemba Walker get benched is bad for the team right now, because especially you brought him in for his offensive output, and he can't even give you anything offensively. And defensively, we know that's not happening. That's not happening. Guys got to step up. RJ Barrett has to step up in this season. Only averaging 14 points per game. No sir, on bad efficiency. Can't do it. I mean, hey, I think they'll figure it out, especially with Tom Thibodeau as a coach. He ain't gonna go for it. But right now, you guys are right there in the C tier. It's not looking good right now. Next up, the New Orleans Pelicans. I know a lot of people don't really talk about your team at all, and people think you guys should be in the sweepstakes. You guys should be in the sweepstakes. Y'all need to go. Yeah. Zion's not coming back. Zion is big. Over the last few games with Brandon Ingram, Valanciunas, Devontae Graham, the team has actually competed pretty well against some high caliber teams, and you guys have beaten some really, really good teams, and I think that you guys are finding your footing now that Brandon Ingram's back in the lineup. Y'all are still mid, but you guys have looked good though. Y'all are like a good mid. Oh, okay, that's good. Y'all are good. Good job, New Orleans. Good job. Also, y'all need to get Zion on the workout plan, right now. No cap, please. Get that man in shape, bro, please. Next up, the Charlotte Hornets. Hey, they're a sleeper team, man. They're right there in the middle of the pack. Teams that can make a move up and down. I think they're making moves that are up. Look, they're one of the best teams offensively, 4th in offensive rating. The only problem with this team is their defense. Their defense is ass. But LaMelo Ball, when he's on your court, man, he's tough. He is tough. If they can get their defense right, they can be the only thing the Hornets have to really, really do is get their defense situated. And as a younger team, it's going to be a little bit harder to do. But the Hornets are a team that you just got to look out for, especially on offense. And I think that's what keeps them relevant in the Eastern Conference right now. Next up, the Houston Rockets. Hey, I'll chill. But we right here, though. We right here for sure. 5-game winning streak after losing 15 straight games. Y'all been on the channel seeing what I've said about the Houston Rockets. 5-game winning streak. And right now, the team has looked really, really good. Without Jalen Green, who's been injured. KPJ has been injured a few games. And Christian Wood was injured in 1 game. Everybody's stepping up for the Houston Rockets right now. The Rockets are a young team, and they should be in the sweepstakes right now. But the level of play that they've had right now, they're easily a team that's in soon, but not yet. Maybe one of the better teams that are young. Shit, man. Wait till Jalen and KPJ come back. We're gonna be crazy. We're gonna be crazy. Miami Heat, look, they're missing something. And it's really due to the fact that Bam Adebayo is gonna be out due to an extended period of time, due to a thumb injury. You're gonna need surgery, so he's gonna be gone for a minute. So it's gonna be a problem for the Miami Heat going forward. Guys are gonna have to step up. And I think that, again, Bam being out, I can't put you in the same tier as all the teams up in the NBA Finals because he's too big of a piece for that team. But if they somehow continue to win games and get the job done, then the Miami Heat are going to be a problem for sure. But again, even without Bam, there's still a team you got to look out for. So hopefully they can keep it up. Let's see what happens going forward. Next up, the Chicago Bulls. Hey, Chicago, 2 of the best scorers in the league, 2 top 10 scorers in the league, 2 great defenders in Caruso and Lonzo Ball. Vucevic is finding his rhythm now. In the Eastern Conference, they may be 3rd, but that, like I said, standings mean nothing to me. It's what you do on the court. And the Bulls have some good wins against some really, really good teams. DeMar DeRozan, DeMar Jordan, he's going crazy right now. Even in the 4th quarter right now, he's one of the best players in the 4th quarter in the league this season. So they have a closer, and it's DeMar DeRozan. I think the Bulls are a problem for a lot of teams in the Eastern Conference, and I really want to see what happens. I'm ready. I really want to see what they do in the playoffs. I really can't wait to see what the Bulls do in the playoffs. I'm excited for this team. So the Bulls are clearly a threat in the Eastern Conference. Next up, the Brooklyn Nets. Hey, look, Brooklyn, KD fans, just hear me out. KD has been going crazy. He is an MVP candidate right now. He's in that conversation. The problem is James Harden is not James Harden at this point in the season. James Harden has struggled, and I know James Harden, the stats may seem like, oh, those aren't bad stats, but for the caliber of who we think James Harden is, he's not that guy right now, and he has to step up. Kyrie Irving, he not coming back, but right now, KD needs help, and James Harden might have a good game here and there. The next game, he might not be as great. They want to make it to the finals, which is already going to be hard with just these two without Kyrie. James Harden has to be James Harden from 2018. He has to be that good, and he hasn't looked like that right now. Next up, OKC Thunder. Now, hey, look, I think you guys have a lot of talent in Shea. He can be a star. I think he already has the makings to be a star in the league. Giddey won Player of the Month, great player. Lou Dort has become a defensive juggernaut. I like the fact that you...
It'll be an NBA record margin of victory for the Grizzlies tonight. 73 points.
Next up, the Golden State Warriors. Let's not waste no time. Golden State's a problem. You guys saw the video that I posted recently, I think it was a week ago, about the Golden State Warriors. They're a problem. I know the Suns got their number, but the Warriors got their number too. And look, Warriors and Suns, they're the two teams in the Western Conference that are just above everybody else. They're just above everybody else. The Warriors are going to be a problem. The Warriors are a problem. When Clay comes back, it's going to be a different issue. I think that when Clay comes back, I think he'll struggle just a little bit, just getting back into a rhythm. But once he gets back into that rhythm, the Warriors are just going to be, it's going to be a problem for the whole entire Western Conference and damn near the entire league. But, you know, we'll wait till then. Next up, we got the Celtics. And I think that right now, for me personally, I'm putting them as maybe. I'm putting them as a maybe. I know you might look at the standings and say something different, but I just think that the Celtics, they're up and down every single time I look at this team. There's times where Tatum will have a good game, Tatum, he has a bad game. Jaylen Brown might have a good game, he's out of their lineup. And I just feel like the inconsistency of the Celtics has always been a problem with this entire team, to the point where people are talking about trading Tatum and even trading Brown to help one or the other. But I just don't believe they need to do that. I think they need to build a better roster. I think that going, I might change, honestly, I might change my mind on the sleeper. I might put them as a sleeper team, but I don't think they're in that category. I think they're kind of disappointing so far, like the Knicks so far. I just don't think they're one of those teams where maybe they might change my mind. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know in the comment section. But the Celtics, I'm not feeling them right now. I'm not. Next up, the Lakers. Gonna shock y'all, but they're a maybe as well. Like, the thing about the Lakers, look, I said from the beginning of the season, you go back to my first video about the rankings, I said the Lakers are a championship level team as long as AD is a dominant, to the point where they can't be too reliant on LeBron James. But this team is too reliant on LeBron James, to the point where, like, if LeBron isn't playing, they don't even look like that type of team. I think that Westbrook has looked good over the last few games, and I think that AD has looked good over the last few games. But defensively, this team just can't stay in front of anybody. It's just that simple. Can they get their offense right? Yeah. The level of talent on this team is expected to be one of the top tier teams in the Western Conference, and they're not that yet, and they don't look like that either. So as of right now, the Lakers do not look like a championship level team. We can't sit up here and say that to ourselves. So that's my take. Sorry. Last team, Orlando Magic. Hey, Orlando, I know you guys aren't one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference. You guys are actually probably either 14th or 15th, I don't know, but y'all are down there. But the Magic, you guys have some talent on your team. I like Cole Anthony. He might be making a case for himself to be one of the better young point guards in the league right now. And I think Franz Wagner, he doesn't get talked about a lot due to the rookie race with Evan Mobley and Scotty Barnes. But one of the big fours in the league, Franz Wagner is very, very good. He can shoot the ball from deep. So you guys have a lot of talent on your team right now. Yeah, y'all go get that boy Paolo. Try to go get him. But that concludes my December rankings. If you guys think I'm wrong, for sure, let me know in the comment section. This one is actually kind of tough. I'm not gonna lie. I think a lot of people are gonna disagree with me on this one. But if you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe, definitely subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers before 2022. Hopefully we can get it done. But again, I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, stay on beat.